hiking for a bit. I had just Brussels sprouts. I always have the leg, just like right off the drumstick. This is my thing. So it just went full carnivore mode. Felt pretty good. Drank a lot of whiskey. Yeah, overall had a right old time. Yeah, had a great time. Family are still here, so like it's the fun hasn't ended or anything like that,
Yeah.
but there's only so much that you could do when work starts up again. So like right now, everyone's working and doing stuff, so won't be long until I'm done with school for the semester, which would be great. I look forward to that.
They offer.
Well, it's all just online, so like it's basically just rudimentary self-paced classes.
Got it.
So I just look forward to not having to worry about it anymore. Mm.
Um, been out hunting,
Oh yeah?
giving. Yeah, trying to go for a deer. It's my 5th year going out, and I've done which is this year, and I haven't. And shoot, though, when I saw my first deer, because the person I was with told me wait till it got close. Get right away.
Yeah, it happens unfortunately. At least you saw something. I the best day I had was the very first day of the season, and then I've seen some stuff, but nothing close enough to shoot, and nothing worth shooting.
Yeah.
So I've just been kind of in that state.
Yeah, haven't. This year we've heard like there's people park next. They gave park next. Got suit like 2 doe basically past them, but got off. Other than that, like
Mm. Yeah, in Texas, hunting in general is tons of fun. If you get a good property for it, but the problem with Texas hunting is like everything's private, so it's basically just sit in a stand or sit in a hole for a while and just hope something comes your way. So like, I don't really like hunting like that. I like actually hunting and engaging, so it's for me like I haven't really been deer hunting much because like school, and then also I got to that point where it's like I mean, I do want to get out more, but like because of school and everything, my motivation is just super low because it's like all I'm doing is just sitting here, and I could be sitting inside doing school,
yeah.
or I could be like getting ready to do school or doing something else. It's like I do want to hunt. It's just I
Getting time
that
also.
getting the time to when especially when we're here, all I'm doing is just again sitting and staring at one spot for like 3 hours
Yeah.
because like especially with our property, like we can't really sneak. It's just it's a pizza slice. So it's like if you if you get busted going in, it's over. It's completely done. It's not like, oh, something else might come back. No, like there's hundreds of properties out here that
Yeah.
have feeders and food. Like we're a pit stop. We're not a home. We're a pit
Yeah.
stop for these animals. So like you bust something that was walking through, it's not coming back. Not for a while. So it's like we have to go out super early. We wake up at like
Yep.
5 in the morning.
That's what we've been doing. Well, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, that's typically how it goes. But it's like 5 in the morning, wait until like 9. It's like I just don't have
yep. Up
patience
this.
for
Yeah,
it
we
right
went to.
now.
Oh, we got up this morning at 5. But to get out there, so didn't really.
the what's it called? The I don't know. I was gonna say something else. I thought. One of the things I do like hunting about Texas is that seasons are open super long. Like, it's gonna be deer season basically until Christmas. Like, no pause, no break, nothing.
I mean,
So
we only get 2
there's still plenty
weeks.
of time. Yeah, yeah. Up north it was brutal because it's like you have this is a small window unless you bow hunt. Dan and I have been sharing memes because like we've been seeing big deer on the cams on the property occasionally, but like they're always out of shot or they're always like the wind is just slightly against us and we get blown out. And we made a I found a meme I shared to him. We've been laughing about it where it's like you chase a deer the entire archery season only for a guy like this to kill it the first day of rifle season, and it was Dwight Schrute.
Yeah. That's one thing I didn't do it because of how like sooner out for
Yeah,
my sister and I said about possibly like
Archer.
yeah, like we did it growing
Learning
up.
archery.
Like my grandpa taught us how to do it growing up, but we haven't done it for a while. So we need to get back into it, but doing that for a season, see how that goes. I genuinely hear more people like say they get deer in our area for archery rifle because it's like
Yeah.
a little bit warmer and it's like that little bit really gets them moving. So I invited you to the party. I don't know if you.
I don't. Did I not get that message? I've just been customizing my smart this whole time
I
with
believe
my
it might pop
3
up.
cosmetics.
I know
Sorry.
it might be in your Xbox link because I'm like I think because we sign up with the Xbox accounts for to play. That's possibly why.
Oh, I'm on the wrong account. That would explain.
Well, no, it says your dog with dingus.
No, my Xbox account is like the app
Yeah.
for your computer. Yeah, it's the wrong account.
I
Oh,
don't know,
I
but when
sign
you
out.
download this game, you download it through Steam.
Well, yeah, yeah.
Sign in with.
For some reason, my game bar says I'm the wrong. I'm not Dogwood Dingus. I'm like my other account.
You invite me.
Hold on.
Dude, honestly.
Oh, I can just join you.
Oh,
I don't know why I didn't get the invite. Hey, look, it's me.
hey.
I have an Anakin Skywalker arm and a gold visor. That's the only thing unique about me.
I bought the battle pass like day one, so I've been grinding that out. I don't know if you played this new mode, but there's a
Fiesta?
yeah. You're
Yeah,
party, right? Or that you're here, like your character's here, but it doesn't say that I have 2 players in my fire team and that I had 1. But I think we're good. You're searching for a party, right? Like for a match?
yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
So the main reason I was like asking about this is I wanted to get your thoughts and opinions on Halo because I've been formulating my own and I kind of wanted to talk to somebody else who played Halo, like grown up playing Halo like I have.
Yeah.
Um,
You want to just treat it like almost like just a podcast, and you'll just like record
yeah,
the whole
just like
thing and put
go back
pieces
and
out.
forth,
Okay.
take what.
Yeah.
But hopefully
Yeah, I
before
mean, that sounds cool.
December 8th comes out. I have a tendency to be a little lazy when it comes to editing.
Yeah.
I got to play with my dad's cousin last night, older, and he's like played every Halo in the town.
Oh, okay.
And like this is fun, but it's way too fast paced and feels new, which he liked the new feeling of it, but he didn't like the fast pacedness of it because he likes the Halos for like the slower pace.
On me with the sword.
You're spawning with the okay.
I have a sword and grappling. Like this will be fun.
And I genuinely know
I
what
don't.
he's saying.
I honestly don't mind the faster pace. My
I don't.
my issue is my issue is like the same issue that always has popped up in Halo, which is like the sandbox is full of these wonderful items and weapons,
Yeah.
and only like 3 are ever gonna be used.
Be safer on the ground.
I just grappled to a guy with an energy sword though, so maybe I spoke too soon. That felt really cool. But like, that's the thing that I've always disliked about Halo was that like the sandbox. There's so many cool items, and either like Bungie and 343. This isn't an inherent problem with one over the other. It's just both. But they both have this tendency where they just give you so many cool items and weapons. And I don't mind if there's some similarities, like the plasma rifle to like the plasma or the assault rifle. Like I don't mind that there's similarities. Like I don't care. Just like it does a bit more shield damage, a bit less health damage, and the opposite. Like I'm fine with that. I love variety, especially like I'll get to it, but like I'll talk about my opinion on Reach and such. But like for me, it's like I like the variety. I don't mind when there's weapons that are similar. Like I've heard the argument people are like, "Oh, you can't have, you know, the assault rifle and the SMG in the same game. Like they conflict." It's like, no, they don't. Case in point, Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
Team Fortress 2 has like 10 rocket launchers that are all basically the same thing. Like they do something slightly different, and it's amazing. And it still feels great, and it's like that slight bit of variety that keeps the game feeling the same, but makes it feel good still
Yeah.
and different. And it's like I don't mind that. Like say I'll use Reach, right? Because Reach had like the assault rifle,
gosh.
plasma repeater, plasma rifle, spiker. They're all basically
Yeah.
the same thing. The problem was like they weren't good. Only one of them was really good. That was the problem. It wasn't that there was a variety, it's that only like the assault rifle was viable, and even then the assault rifle being viable is like a bad joke. So like balancing is the other thing, like in that topic of the sandbox, where it's like weapons being too strong or too weak and whatnot. Like I don't like precision weapons in games. I hunt in
genuinely
real. Oh god.
don't feel like this game. Sorry.
No, you're good.
But I genuinely don't feel like this game has any. Like, none of the guns feel underpowered, none of the guns feel overpowered. They all feel
Yeah.
in the sandbox, except for the plasma carbine. I feel like that gun in this game is really good at taking down shields, but the problem is like you can't switch fast enough in this game from weapon to weapon in order to like make sure you get the kill to finish it off. And so like a gun being like really good at shields, but then not being able to finish off unless you're like in close quarters, kind of like it kind of defeats the idea of the carbine part of it. Like it would have been just better off, in my opinion, being
Enemies on me.
like the plasma rifle from Halo 3. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Yeah. Like for me, the big thing for me with like balance and weapons is like I want to be able to fight with anything. Like I don't like being forced to use anything. Like I don't like having to swap off my assault rifle to finish someone with a pistol. I want to just full body somebody with the assault rifle and have it work. And that's just me. Like I don't really like precision weapons in most games because like I can use them in real life. I have them in real life. I don't have the giant belt-fed machine gun that, you know, can shred tanks and like infantry alike. Like that's cool. That's fun. That's unique. Like
Yeah.
precision weapons or semi-auto weapons are fine in games. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. But you're asking me like what do I find more interesting? You know, I'm always gonna argue like the machine guns. Like give me a machine gun.
Yeah.
And yeah. I can't figure out how these weapons feel and function. I've like not played enough Infinite. I'm really doing bad right now.
Yeah. One thing like that's one thing I think they did really well in this game. Like not Steam. making it that the assault rifle is a viable weapon, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't like. It's not like the what was it, the saw? Is that what it was in 4? Where, like, you
Yeah,
could
it was the
literally
saw.
just, like, you could just like aim at somebody. There isn't assault rifle like that in this game. It's very much either you're using the assault rifle for like mid to close range, or you're not really going to use it. You have to use your precision.
Yeah. See, like, part of me almost wishes that, like, the assault rifle was, like, the saw. Just because, like, and then make everything, like, that power level. That's a very personal opinion. That's not, like,
Yeah.
Halo is bad because of that. But, like, that's something I always personally liked. It was, like, Halo 4. It was, like, every weapon. It was stupid that you can spawn in with, like, a light power weapon. But every weapon felt, like, super strong. And I liked that.
Ah, good.
At least the starting weapons.
Yeah.
But they all felt super strong. Because I don't mind a high time to kill or fast time to kill. I just like it when weapons are viable. Like, if it's a low time to kill, just make everything useful.
Yeah. I genuinely think that this game doesn't have a super high target control. Like, it is pretty quick when it comes
Reminder,
to
this
getting
is
kills and
exceptionally
stuff.
dangerous.
Then like a couple, which can take a little bit.
Yeah.
But overall, I really think that they did well with the sandbox in this game, and I really hope that they add more weapons to it as the game continues to grow, and like as they can. But as of right now,
Oh, man.
they were-
Auto clamber just got me killed.
yeah, I turned that off. I literally
I'm
like,
turning that off.
That is something that
5
annoys
minutes
me
remaining.
with this game is that
Enemy
like
team nearing victory.
there's a lot of like I get it for console.
Oh, yeah.
All that stuff. But for PC, like, I literally went to jump back from a ledge to try to like assassinate somebody.
And it auto clambered.
Auto clambered, and I died for it. And I'm like, really? Like, it's like I purposely jumped backwards, and because of the way the game's mechanics are set up, it automatically. I'm not blaming the game for that. I understand why it's automatically there. I'm happy that you can turn it off. That is something that I genuinely happy that they're moving towards more customization when it comes to controls, and also making the game just feel a lot more like you can personalize it the way you want.
Yeah.
Which kind of brings up another topic of
Yeah,
what do you think-
I do want to talk about that.
what do you think
wow.
about the armor?
Well, I was gonna talk about controls, but the
okay.
armor visually, what controls or armor?
We can
What do
keep
we?
going with controls and then we'll move into armor.
Okay, so I'm an old-fashioned gamer. I grew up with like really simple games. Like I grew up playing in Nintendo 64 and like
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like I grew up with really, really simple stuff, you know. So like personally, I am overwhelmed by the amount of customization. Like I don't like it when games like, oh, you can change sensitivity of your base turning. Now you're aim down sights. Now you're ×2 magnification, ×1.5, ×2.5. It's like, no, don't do that. That also presents a balance issue as well that no one really seems to mention. Is like sometimes, say, a sniper is meant to be cumbersome. But if you let players change the sensitivity very specifically, you get rid of that cumbersome nature of the weapon. Now, I don't think that's a problem in it, but just as a side note, like there can be problems with like that level of control.
Yeah, I do have to agree with that.
Don't look at my scoreboard. I did terrible.
Yeah, I did too, honestly. I more or less was just go on killing sprees, so I just kept rushing in, and it didn't work out very well.
Yeah, but like I do appreciate that we do have a lot of options, but I just really wish that just the default stuff was kept classic and simple,
Yeah.
very basic, and then let players like don't start the opposite, like do it the opposite. Keep it simple, give players options. Don't make it super complicated and enable everything.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
spent my
is-
first like 2 days of playtime in this game just figuring out the damn controls.
Yeah.
It's like MCC did the same thing, but like MCC was also like, you know, kind of a beta test for Infinite if you think about it, seeing what they can
No,
and
it
can't
definitely
do.
was. One thing
Yeah.
that I think should come over from MCC is the XP system. I think they did pretty
Oh.
well with
Oh yeah.
that over there.
Yeah.
And for some reason, they didn't bring it over. I mean, I think they're working on it, but right now, you get 50 XP for a match, and then like 200 to like 300. I think I got 400 as the highest with the challenge. The challenge was like literally was get kills with the plasma carbine, and that's when I realized how like ridiculously hard it is to get kills with the thing. So I think if they fix that, that would be like a big help because I hear a lot of people complaining about that. But with the armor customization in this game, I really like that a lot of it is very customizable, but at the same time,
Oh yeah, I do want to talk about that next.
but at the same
That
time,
I
it's
look.
a very big issue about like the price for everything. Like I don't know if you've seen, but a lot of people are complaining that like in order to get every piece of like armor coloring, and everything,
You basically have to
bring-
pay. Yeah.
Yeah, someone calculated it's about $1,000 in order to get like everything.
Sounds like Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah, but I mean, here's my dilemma though, is if we're gonna talk about like this game being this expensive, then why aren't we talking about Call of
Other
Duty?
games. Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
Call of Duty, literally, what was it? You would have to spend $40 just to get the Rainbow and the guy from Die Hard.
I know you're talking about. I can't think of his name though.
Yeah.
Vent guy.
Yeah, but you could get both of those, and that would cost you $40 just for 2 things. I mean, I do agree some of the pricing is ridiculous. Like it was, well, I think it was like it's like $10 for a sword cosmetic in this game for the samurai outfit,
Oh wow.
which is insane. Don't get me wrong. I'm not disagreeing that that's not insane, but at the same time, it's like you don't have to eat it in order to play. So, I don't know. It's like one of those arguments where it's like, I get why people
Yes.
are upset, but at the same time, like, they don't need it. It's just like they want it. That's
So, yeah, I look forward to adding my opinion on this. So, oh, not again. No. Wait, no. There's every time I've spawned in, I've just gotten killed by snipers and rockets, and I
Yeah,
just barely
it's-
dodged 2 rockets.
That's one
No,
thing
speak of the devil.
That's one thing I like the shields for. Is I pick them up just so I can draw. Like if someone has a rocket launcher, I just drop it quick and I can not evade, but just like block it.
Yeah, I've just spawned in with scan darts routinely.
But so you're saying about the cosmetics?
Okay, so why? So my thing on the cosmetics is that I don't have any problem with monetizing cosmetic items as long as it's more than just paid options. I don't frankly care what anybody says. You should be able to get a lot of what's offered for free, and then
Oh, yeah.
there should be stuff that you pay for.
I do agree.
And I know that sounds kind of like, you know, like, oh, they gotta make money, like what's the matter? It's like, again, I'm an old-fashioned gamer. I grew up where, like, if you saw some guy in Halo with recon armor, that wasn't like a, oh man, how much money did you pay? That was a, holy crap, who did you pleasure in the bedroom to get that? Like, that was a big deal. Like, that was not like a little thing. It was a very, very big deal. And that was awesome. That was like the coolest thing, was that seeing someone with armor like that. Like I played a lot of Reach personally, so I remember seeing people with like the skull helmet, which is what you get at the very, very end of the progression tree or the progression system.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing that a few times and being like, well, we're boned.
Yeah. Yeah.
Enemy halfway to victory.
So, like, the cosmetic side of things, on that note, like, I grew up playing Team Fortress 2 as well, so like I spent a lot of money on cosmetics in that game. But like there was also a trading system, so like it wasn't the only way to get it. So like
Yeah.
usually cosmetics could and would have a story, and it made it feel even better. Like there's a whole series out there that's just called Hat and Misc Stereotypes, where this guy just talked about how like these cosmetics formed like a culture in the game, and like that became really cool. And that happened because like there were ways to unlock the items that wasn't just paying, and the people who did have the items usually were, you know, stereotypes of some sort. And that was like a really cool part. Like lots of self-expression, lots of cool stuff came with that. So like locking off so much, sorry, excuse me, locking so much behind a paywall exclusively
Yeah.
is just it's just kind of shady, because it's like you don't have to lock everything. Like I like the samurai armor, all right? That's a little wacky. That's a little weird. Like it's not bad. It's cool looking gear, but like that's not Halo. I don't look at Halo and think samurai. I
Yeah.
think maybe more like a Spartan, like an old actual Spartan.
Yeah.
So
Another thing with
like
the samurai event is I don't know if you know this, but they advertise one set of armor, like one armor set, and apparently the one that you get now is different than the one they showed off. Like it's not completely different. The base is the same, but the actual helmet and stuff is slightly different. And people are so technically they got promised one thing and it was really cool, and then they got it. It's not again that it's like ridiculous, but it's different enough to be like, okay. And the armor that they did show off for it, you do have to pay, like the helmet, you do have to pay for. So like, I feel like there is some shady stuff going on, and I really hope that this doesn't continue, and that it's not just kind of going to be a thing with Infinite.
yeah.
Genuinely though, I really don't like. I wish there kind of was like for the base. I mean, maybe they'll put this in later, but like have a base like Halo Reach had, where you have that progression. You have a base one, and then if you
You have ones you pay for.
you can
Yeah.
pay for. Like I think they should have like like the first battle pass or another battle pass, like one for free.
Make one for free that's just based off the campaign. Then make it
Yeah.
where you earn items through the campaign or through the actual multiplayer,
Yeah.
dependent on challenges and like other things that you complete.
Yeah, and I honestly think that with some more like free customization and some more a better way of getting the experience, because I don't know if you've really fiddled around with that too much. But like,
The menu is so confusing. I barely could figure out how the hell to navigate it. And then I realized most of the stuff is like you pay for it, so I haven't really done too much.
But like, so the way the XP, you literally have to do challenges, or you don't get any. Like right now, they updated it. At first, you didn't get any just by playing, but now you get 50 for playing matches, like per match. But you don't really get much otherwise. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, so you get 50, and then you get like 250 for most. And once you run out of weekly challenges, though, you literally cannot
Progress.
Yeah, like when you're basically stuck unless you play a lot of matches.
I
I feel like most people, like yourself, wouldn't be able to do in order to keep going in the battle pass if you bought it. Because like, if people who are busy and just playing casually, like I play a lot because I have a lot of free time. But like, I don't have a lot of free time. It's not really a fair system.
I'm not having a good time in Fiesta.
I literally am only, just so you're aware, I'm literally only playing this for a challenge.
Oh look, I would have unlocked the base suit from Halo Reach, my favorite Halo game, if I had just paid money. Cool.
Is that the base armor from me?
Yeah, that's what that is, the base bodysuit, which is my favorite armor appearance. See, on the note of armor appearances, what I was expecting them to do, and I'm very upset they didn't do this because this would have been the moneymaker. Warhammer Space Marine. Warhammer Space Marine had a system where you can customize every part of your Space Marine. And there was an evil version too. And I don't know if you know Warhammer, so I'll try to
Not
like
really.
do basic speech here. But like, if you look it up, you could probably find pictures of it. And the customization was incredible. So you can customize your hands, your forearms, your shoulders, like the big, dummy, thick shoulder pauldrons, the chest plate, the backpack, and then the legs, and then the helmet. And the way it
Yeah.
worked is like every part could be painted individually. Not like it wasn't like a base coat of like gray and then blue, and then it just had like what's a primary, what's a secondary spot. No, like every part, and there were 3 layers to it because sometimes you would have 3 layers. So like the base paint, the secondary paint, and then whatever the trimming was. So like if it was cloth or if it was gold, like embroidering or whatever the hell you call it.
Yeah.
And the way you unlock the stuff was even cooler. They was unlocked through challenges that felt extremely fitting. For instance, you can get battle damage gear. You wanna know how you got that? You had to die. You unlocked battle damaged armor by just getting killed by certain weapons and equipment. So dying was, in a weird way, a reward.
Yeah,
It was-
wow.
Yeah, so I remember like getting the battle scarred helmet. You had to get killed by. Wow, that's the Banshee.
Yeah,
Alright.
it's really weak and it does like no damage. He took me out with a sniper.
Yeah, I see that.
People are complaining because it doesn't really evade. Like it literally is just there to be there, but it's not actually there to be honest. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine. That was hilarious looking. So, but yeah, it's like the armor. There was a lot of cool different armors and whatnot. So like, let's use Halo Infinite as the example. The prosthetic limbs. To get a prosthetic limb, you had to die by explosives in Space Marine. Oh, I just killed myself with a frag grenade. But in Infinite, you know, we don't have that kind of system, and that's what I was expecting. I was expecting like something like that, but the way they advertised, especially, which was very misleading.
Yeah, that's something I've also like. It seemed very like you could customize pretty much everything, is what they made it seem like. And then it came out. I did know about the armor coating. That was something I was aware of. I just wasn't sure how that would look, and I'm not very happy with the way it came out.
Yeah, the armor coating being like you have to have like certain palettes, and then the palettes have predetermined colors and material. It just seems really weird. And again, to go back to Warhammer, you know, with Warhammer, the way that they had it was that, you know, you had every paint, and there were some that were shiny, some that were like matte, some that were typical like steel, some that look dirty. There's lots of variety, and you can put it on every piece. Like your leg, let's pretend you're customizing your knee, like your left leg specifically. You want your left leg to be white and your right leg to be blue. You can do that. And then you're like, okay, I want to alternate, so I want like the left leg's white leg to have a blue knee pad. You could do that. And like, and then again, you could also do that further with, you know, like the embroidering, or if you had cloth or anything like that. Like Space Marines and their like evil counterparts had different, you know, cosmetics. Like the evil guys had like flesh and like spikes and stuff like that, like edgy stuff, you know. And then the normal Space Marines, they had like chains, they had you know, like fancy looking cloth, and they looked almost more regal with like their fancier gear. And like it was a really cool part about the game, because you could really look the part, you could really look unique and different.
Yeah.
And what they did for monetization is that they added unique sets. So like you could buy a full set. So you had a lot of customization, but it was very baseline. It wasn't really like, I mean, it was fancy, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like specific. In Warhammer, you had really specific military organizations. Like they call them chapters or legions. So like one chapter was like a Viking theme. So they had like wolf bones and like runes etched onto their armor. Like that's something you couldn't unlock. You had to buy that. And that's what I was expecting. I was expecting like here's a baseline, cool military stuff themed off Infinite and Reach. And then like, oh, you want the samurai stuff? Well, that's where you get like the battle pass bonus for this season. Like you want something really specific, like the exact helmet George used, like maybe even like has a unique like paint scheme or something like that, or like a maybe it's battle damage or something like that. That's what you get with the season pass. That is not what happened.
Not at all.
Not at all.
One thing that I've heard a lot of, and I completely agree, is that the color palettes are not universal. Once you get like, I currently have like once I finish all my weekly challenges, I can get to go for more challenges that are just so I can get a custom palette. The problem is the palette only goes in the one armor, and it's not the armor I wear. So when it like the customization, yeah, you can customize it.
And I'm getting really damn tired of fighting only rocket launchers. That's all I fight, and I haven't gotten anything to counter them. Like what am I supposed to do with the plasma pistol?
It's just but like only being able to use the color palette on certain armors instead of like just having it unlocked once you get it and then being able to use it on any is really like it's a very sneaky way of getting out of people, which really sucks. I was really hoping that they wouldn't do something like that, and I think they might change that you can use it universally. But as of right now, it's like really, it's a really sleazy way of like trying to make extra money.
Some guy keeps on trying to scan dart me,
Probably has a
and I
challenge
keep destroying his scan dart, and then he destroys my scan darts, and this has just been us. Yeah. But yeah, the customization I was really looking forward to, because I love customizing my characters in games. Like that's a big thing for me. Like just because, you know, I don't see my friends a lot. So to me, like customization is like seeing my friends, you know, like when we don't look like the average Joe, like it says a lot about you. Like, you know, you could probably tell that I'm like a very basic white dude because I like to do like very basic military looks and whatnot, you know. But like then you have Ian, who's really big on like, you know, fantasy and like, you know, cool mythology and whatnot. His armor would probably look more like, you know, like something out of Lord of the Rings, or like,
yeah.
I'll just say for the sake of like simplicity, like edgy, you know. Oh boy. Oh, okay, I'm getting the groove now. Oh man, I really got in the groove there. Battle rifle slaps. I had this weird like beam weapon thing.
I didn't realize it needed a like that.
Enemy Spartans are closing in.
Oh, oh no, you have the shock rifle.
I have.
It's okay, so it's like a sniper rifle, but it also can stop vehicles, and also it doesn't have the regular, like, it doesn't have the sniper zoom on it.
No, I want the zoom. I just want to say I do not. There's some things in this game I want to talk about that just rifle my jimmies, and that's the zooming and the sprinting. I'm not opposed to having sprint and whatnot, but it's like either fully add it in or don't have it in. This half-baked sprint is just frustrating. It's like
you're just really not going any faster than if you.
Yeah, it's like, and the fact that it stops your shield from regenerating. It's like in Halo 5 that made sense because you're super fast. If your shields are flared while you're in sprint, you have to stop sprinting for them to recharge. They can instantly recharge. Like the delay goes away, but nothing else like the actual shield recharge. You still need.
Yeah.
Tango closing in.
Um, one thing that really
I'll take that.
that I don't really like, I wish was in it, but I kind of understand why they did it the way they did it, is the slide mechanic. I wish they would have done a more Titanfall 2 style of slide mechanic, because I would really love to be able to, like, if I'm on a slope, just slide down the slope instead of just sliding for like 2 seconds and like have to do it again.
No, I lost connection, so I don't think I got credit for that match.
Oh my gosh. Like, the ability to slide, but I wish it was more momentum based.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because that could be fun custom games too. Can you imagine having to do like parkour puzzles where you have to build momentum and slide under stuff?
Yeah, like that would be really cool. I mean, I at this point I don't think. Oh, I think the multiplayer's down right now because it just like it's not working at all.
I think Steam just went down.
Is that it?
I'm offline on the Steam Friends thing. Yeah, I can't go to the store. Nope, never mind. Still here.
I think it just went for 3 or
I'm disconnected from the Steam Friends thing, so I don't know what's going on with that.
I don't know either.
I'll restart Steam just to be safe.
But one, it's like the biggest thing they really need is the baseline armor, and the ability to gain more.
Yeah, that's the first major thing that needs to be addressed because it's pretty bad.
I genuinely don't want to see this game like have fallout with like the fans, like it die off. I've been
It's like it's not even die off, but like splinter, fragment, and just start a civil war. Because
yeah,
that's
because like I feel like
basically what happened
most
with
people who like this game are gonna stay on it no matter what happens. And then there's gonna be the older Halo fans like yourself. We're more expecting.
I want to get back into it, but
Yeah,
I
like
just
I know like a lot of people who do like I know Ian and Sam were interested in hopping back into this, but their computers can't run it because it does
this
like,
game's optimization is poo poo.
yeah, that's another thing I think they really need to work on, which really surprises me because this thing can run on the original Xbox One. Like I have the original one, and it
Oh
runs
wow.
just fine on it.
My Xbox One is on its way out, so I can't even run, and like I can barely run Minecraft on it without it having
Jeez.
problems. Then again, though, I did make like superstructures with torches everywhere, so
That would probably do it.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
but I find it very annoying that first of all it's not optimized. Second of all, for people who do want to get back into it, there's no like if you're playing for free, there isn't a lot to do when it comes to customization if you're playing for free. If you're playing, I bought the battle pass like first thing because I knew I was gonna play a lot of this. I played the tech preview, basically an alpha build, and I really enjoyed the gameplay and I knew it was similar, if not the same thing. And so like as soon as it came out, I bought the battle pass because I play a lot. But it's like for people who like yourself or like Sam or Ian, like any of our other friends who would play this, they'd probably just end up playing like a month probably if we got like a big group together to play big team battle or something. Whereas, and like they're not gonna really get anything out of battle pass because they're not playing it every day. Like because of the structure of the battle pass and the structure of the experience system, it doesn't make sense for people who casually play to purchase the battle pass. That is one thing I think
Excuse me.
Fortnite, which like not a really big fan of it anymore, does really well though. Like what it did / does well is like I played the other day with a friend. I have the current battle pass because I got enough the V-Bucks from the last one, and I haven't been playing a lot, and I'm almost at like halfway done the battle pass, only from playing like 4 times, and that's just because I got what was it? They let me gain more experience just from playing, and like from my play style, than if I didn't have the challenge hunt, and it
Yeah.
caters better to its players experience. I believe Halo does right now, and I want, like they said about that, that's what they're working on. That they're trying to make the challenges cater more towards you, and that they're gonna have more experience. Like they're gonna figure out more ways to get it around. But as it stands right now, I don't think this system of experience is very healthy for casual players. It's
Oh no,
very,
it's not.
it's like it is literally like fine for hardcore Halo fans or hardcore players, just period. Like myself, who just like who's down and like take an hour just to play, just because play. But for people who don't play every day, it's very, very much a hard system to get into.
Yeah.
And I think if they fix that, and if they fix some of the customization things, I honestly see the game like thriving. I could see this becoming like the game that everyone's playing.
Yeah.
Like this year. Well, I guess.
Sorry, excuse me. See, I'm hopeful, but I don't think that'll fix all the problem. I think there's more going on in the background that like just I feel like once the hype wears out,
Yeah.
I think like even if they fix the cosmetic side, people are gonna start scratching heads because like this is my issue with it. The quote Act Man, modern gaming, where it's
Yeah.
like the there are so many issues that exist only so they could be fixed later on, so that way like it keeps players invested. Like this battle pass system that they had was not an accident. They did this intentionally. They did this 100% intentionally to see if they can get away with it. That's what like now, of course, they didn't want to have people like get super angry and frustrated. Like you don't want that, regardless if you're trying to make money. You don't want your player base to hate you.
Yeah.
So like they realized, oh, this was a mistake, and they're realizing that real quick. So that'll likely change. I don't know how much it will.
But
I'm gonna imagine it'll probably have like a similar system, a similar layout, but they're just gonna change numbers and
I genuinely
change gains and whatnot. I
where
I
like
would I would love that. Like we have
yeah.
just that customization and like that freedom and everything. Like if we
Yeah.
can like just the thought of being able to just paint each individual part of my Spartan
Oh my gosh.
alone would be
But
like that'd be great. Give myself a white helmet, blue arms, gray body, and like blue knee pads. Perfect. That's like my ideal look. That's like what I did with Warhammer.
yeah.
That was like
And
my custom legion basically.
that, yeah, I just don't know if they're going. I I hate to say it, but I do agree. I think they might just try to like band-aid the issue for the
Oh, they're just
longest
gonna
time.
band-aid it
Like they're just
for
gonna be
sure.
like, oh, you're gonna get now, instead of like now you're gonna get experience from getting like kill streaks or whatever. Like that'll be our fix for that, and that's it. Like they're not gonna really go
They'll
in
like
depth with it.
yeah, it's like for instance the color palette thing. Like let's look at that
Oh,
as the example. Like
they're not gonna fix that.
they're not gonna change that. Not for a long while. Not until like other issues are addressed.
I
And like
honestly think that they should. And I know a lot of people are mad about that. And like honestly, at first I didn't really care, but now seeing how like little I can customize the color for my like I got a couple for free, but now if I want to go more in depth with the colorization, you can.
so I want to say something about that before. So don't jump away from the color palette thing, but keep going.
Um, like I honestly agree, like retrospectively, with a lot of the comments I saw during the announcement of the color palette issue. Um, where it's like that shouldn't be locked behind a paywall. You can lock other things behind a paywall, like certain armor sets and all that, which I agree with.
Or
Um,
just sheens, like just sheens. Like I don't need my Spartan to be like super shimmery shiny.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
just like green versus shiny green. Like that's
yeah.
something as long as it's not super expensive. Like I'd pay $1 for that if I really wanted it.
Yeah.
I don't see anything wrong with that.
Like here, let me
Not what we have now.
I
So,
where
oh sorry.
right now. Right now for an armor coating, a assault rifle wrap and a charm for the gun and a background for your icon for like your character, your player like name plate.
Yeah.
$10.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
Like that's insane. And it's like it doesn't even or sorry, it's not even an armor coating. It's a gun coating.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
$10.
So, see here's the thing. I at first didn't care about the armor coating thing
Yeah.
because I was expecting For Honor. And what I mean by this is that I was expecting red versus blue to still be a thing,
Yeah.
which this is petty, but I hate that they took that away. Like that was just
Yeah.
an iconic part of the game, and I feel like I have to retrain my brain and body to just now when I see a red guy with a blue shield, I have to stop myself from strangling him
Yeah.
when I'm a blue boy. It's like it's so confusing.
Yeah. That is
But
something
that's
I
but that's what I was expecting. See, I was expecting it to be like, okay, red versus blue. When you're on red team, you have these 7 pallets. When you're on blue team, you have these 7 pallets. For Honor does that, where it's like, if you're on one team, you're orange and black. If you're on the other team, you're blue and yellow, and you can pick the different types from there.
Yeah.
So like, and they're usually team oriented. So like, say you had one called Autumn Breeze. Well, Autumn Breeze on blue team would be like a light blue with like a deep yellow, and then Autumn Breeze on red team would be just a deep red, like an orangish red almost, with like black.
Yeah.
And that worked really well because it gave you customization and it
Yeah.
allowed you to still like tell what team's what.
Yeah.
There were some exploits though that people used, like some armors say were mostly the accent colors. Like some people just look like Templars. Like you couldn't tell if they were red or blue, but like that's a given. That'll happen sometimes. Like
Yeah. That's
Mordhau and Chivalry also did that too.
it doesn't sound like a terrible
But
like thing to and
like that's what I was expecting. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, these like color palettes, like this is cool. So like you can like because when you're playing red versus blue, like you have your cool color scheme, but you can't use it because it's
Yeah.
red versus blue. Like you
Yeah.
need to tell who's on which team. So this would be a cool way to allow players to still be on their respected team, fly their team colors, while having control. So like right now, I have blue armor, and instead of just being covered in full blue, maybe I could say have a white helmet and blue everything else, or I
Yeah.
could have like a blue helmet and like maybe I go ODST mode, have everything just be black,
Yeah.
but like a really bright blue helmet so you can still know who's on what team and like stuff like that. That's what I was expecting, and then seeing that they didn't do that at all and had the system, I just sat here scratching my head like
Why?
they're really trying to get us to buy paint, aren't they? I'm back in the game, but if you want to lobby up again.
Yeah, well, but
Okay.
I wanted to make this fix. I honestly think the gameplay loop and the core of like the core feel of this game is really good. I just feel like
Oh yeah.
they've built upon it both good and bad ways.
I think
Oh yeah,
like the big thing that worried me in the beta that I saw, like the alpha test and everything,
yeah,
that has not gone away, is that like regardless of what promises they make or what they do or whatever they say, the media has changed. Games are not made the way they were.
yeah.
They're trying to keep you around for as long as possible.
Keep you
Not have rather than have it where they just want you to buy it on day one or whatever as soon as possible, and then like you can stick around or you can leave. They don't care after that. So
you buy it.
and yeah, and the reason that I think that's a problem is because the fact that there's only 3 game modes to play
Yeah, it's a
is
little insane.
proof of that. Where it's like in Halo Reach, the last. I mean, Halo 4 existed, but it was
Yeah.
Halo Reach, like the last Bungie Halo game, had Forge, Theater, Campaign,
yeah.
Firefight, multiplayer, and I think 20 multiplayer modes.
Yeah.
Infinite launched, and is only. I mean, there's a few different multiplayer modes,
Yeah.
but there's only 3 playlists.
Yeah.
It's like stuff like little things like that. Like for me, are like I said, I'm an old fashioned gamer, so there's maybe
Yeah.
someone who's younger or newer to this, like they're not gonna have a problem. But for me,
Yeah.
like if you want me to stick around, stop doing that. I
Yeah.
will not stick around. I will
It's
not pay money, and I will avoid it like the plague. And I'll go back to MCC.
Yeah.
Like
No, absolutely.
I'll
Yeah.
go back to Halo, the classic Halo, like where I got my money's worth. I'm satisfied, and it's the
Yep.
same but different. Like
Yeah.
I want to really
Like
love